I'm Rikard Ekberg from Eleine, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious Podcast.
The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Hey,
Hello, blind guy. How you doing?
That's my partner, Rena.
Hey,
Hi.
Rena, how you doing? Hi. So I went to
How
get
you
my
doing?
glasses. I have this like slight thing. I don't know. They're new to me. They're really, really new. So sometimes I really need them. Sometimes I don't. But now I felt, holy shit, I really do.
Yeah, it's came on for me too. Late in life, all of a sudden I was like, shit, I can't see anything, and it makes a difference.
I just get tired, you know?
Yeah. So anyway, let me start off by saying I saw you guys on 70K and was totally blown away. Great stuff.
Hey, thank you very much, man.
What was your experience like on the boat?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I mean, there were so many there from North America, of course, but also from the rest of the world. And so, yeah, it's first time really. It wasn't the first time playing on a cruise ship, but it was the first time playing over the Atlantic
Right.
and also in the Bahamas. You know, it was really, really cool experience. Very
Yeah, it
nice.
was good. And you had a good crowd response?
Oh, yeah, very good crowd response.
Sweet. And you guys are right in the middle of festival season now too, right?
Correct.
How's that
Yeah.
going?
Oh, it's going good. We have a couple lined up, and this fall we're heading out with Pain and then Sephirum. So we got a lot ahead of us. We have a lot behind us also. So it's been like nonstop for quite some time.
How do you keep up with all that, especially in these blistering conditions we were all experiencing?
No idea.
Good answer.
Just have to do it. Just have to do it.
Rena?
No, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, is it what conditions? Like, I'm in Finland. It's freezing. Did you?
It's freezing there? Like the whole world is burning, even in Spain and like everywhere else. It's like crazy.
Yeah. Except Finland, where it snows in the summer, and that's how you know. You know, because
Really?
it's heat, not snow. You know, it's the season. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, no, the rest of the world is burning, but not us. But apparently, you know, you guys are drinking enough water, staying hydrated, all that. You know?
Yeah, of course. Coffee and water right here. But you know, I'm Sweden, and here where I am, I'm in Skåne, at like the south part of Sweden, and it's like it's warm one day, then it's kind of humid the other day, and then it's quite cold another day. So typical Swedish weather. But like 2 weeks ago, I believe we were down in Germany doing a signing session tour at the EMP stores, and man, it was so hot in Germany. It was crazy.
I was once there at like what the hell was the place? But yeah, my band was playing a festival, and I remember it being like so hot, so freaking hot that you could not breathe because you would just take chunks of the air and try to like
Right.
shove it towards your face and be like, "Is this gonna sustain me?" No, it isn't.
Right.
So, like, and add fucking insult to injury on that trip. I remember, like, you know, that it was very quick, like, you know, in and out, go play the gig and fly back the next day, sort of thing. So I had like quickly packed nothing except like my stage clothes and then the clothes that I was like traveling in, basically. And
Right.
then we get there, and it is scorching hot, like absolutely humid, really, really like deathly hot. And we get to the hotel and to the venue. I'm like, all right, try to like time to change my pretty dress on and go sing some metal. And and I opened my suitcase and realized that my cat had pissed in it before.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And like that fucking like scorching heat combined with that piercing smell of cat
Nice.
piss.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
all the only dress that I had. It was amazing. And then I was like, I can't, like, I put it on and I'm like, well, the people are kind of far away.
Wow.
So then I just pulled it
Right.
off. And then I remembered that my poor bandmates are going to be right there. So
Right.
I had to do the gig with my jeans and t-shirt or something on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I understand the challenges of German heat.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
it's
you guys have like a lot of road stuff going on. So I bet you guys have like encountered some of these road mishaps as well. Can you maybe share an anecdote?
sure. Never cat piss though. I mean, that's a first. That's a first. No, but you know what? It's been quite smooth on the roads because we are a tight and well-oiled machine in Eleine. We have this work structure that really like it's about doing your job and doing it good. When we gig and play music, we have a no alcohol uh, rule, and really it's just good times, hard work, and unity and empowerment.
Nice. So the record
Well,
came out
that's good stuff. There was super interesting stuff there. No alcohol policy. How did you end up with that policy?
Arena's digging for dirt.
There was no dirt, actually. It's a thing that we started early on to avoid
Dirt.
Yeah, exactly. Potential dirt. I mean, it's so unnecessary. It's very often that people do stupid stuff when they're drunk. So
Yeah. So record came out. I think it was 4 days ago, right? Last Friday.
correct.
So after listening to it, and actually my reviewer is going to have a review of it this week, but after listening to it, it seems a lot heavier and a lot darker than the previous one. Was that intentional, or is that just the way it happened?
It's always the way it just happens. So I mean, it's we always create what feels right, and when it comes to the actual progression, that also was very natural. We always also write from us. What you hear is Madeline and myself. It is her and I who write all of the music and all of the lyrics. And it's quite interesting that you say it's a lot darker, because I've heard from others that they feel it's brighter in the sense that it's more uplifting, empowering than the previous album, which was Dancing in Hell, which was empowering, but speaking of being in your own personal hell. So if you look at it, We Shall Remain is actually a kind of progression from the previous album, naturally progression.
Right.
Where you have gotten through that personal hell, and really you start to dig into the aftermath, because I mean, each to their own with what you're going through. That's what we're also emphasizing here with the previous album, that your personal hell is your personal hell. No one can tell you otherwise, really, because I mean, there's no point in comparing difficulties. And when you get through that, you have this aftermath you need to dig through. You can't forget the battles you were in, because then you're quite bound to repeat yourself with that. So it's more about like rediscovering yourself, reconnecting with yourself, and just continuing fighting and lifting yourself up.
Okay, fair enough. When you say you can't forget your past, and I know this has nothing to do with the record, but I'm interested. You also can't let it define you as well, right? You have to make a break from it.
Correct. You got to build another world from that and around that, and not be inside of that entirety. And but I gotta say, yes, this album is a lot heavier. It is a lot heavier. I feel so too. You know, it's like we opened up a path with Dancing in Hell where we started to get like really comfortable in our clothes, and we just continued down that line, and it's a lot heavier. Yes, I agree.
Well, fair enough. Rena?
Are you going to go even heavier with the next one, or is it just, wait and see kind of a situation?
Who knows? It's a wait and see, really. But we like what we're doing now, and always create what feels right.
Right.
There's potential to be even heavier. There's potential to continue exactly down this line, which I'm not sure it will, because we always go with the flow. So
I I was reading in your bio, most of this was written, like right around the pandemic. How much of that seeped into the writing and the lyrics?
So we're always very clear with that this might have been written during that period, but it's not a quote pandemic album. It's after Dancing in Hell, there was no tours, no way to promote our album at all, and we couldn't do anything. So what we did, since we are full-time musicians, Madeline and myself, we had to find other means to get food on the table. So 2021, I started streaming on Twitch, where I perform our songs, hang out with the community, talk about mental health, and also play a shit ton of video games because I have a shit ton of video games. So I was like, hey, let's share this with the community, and it was great, total game changer. And Madeline started her Twitch streams in June of 2021. Also, she's actually right now doing a stream. That's why I'm here by myself. And before that, how did we survive? Well, we survived all thanks to Patreon. I can't really stress that enough, that our community rose to the occasion, and without Patreon, we would not have made it through that early stage right there. It was terrible. And during that time, we didn't really have, we weren't in the mindset, and we didn't have the actual time to write new music because we were so focused on actually surviving. So we started to dabble in 2021, but really sat down and wrote the album in 2022. And what you hear is not stuff that only comes from that specific period. We threw in stuff that we've been through like years and years ago. That is like connected to our own personal growth from where we were to where we are now, to where we see where stuff is going. And that goes in a broader sense than to ourselves.
Gotcha.
It really does.
How much of a responsibility, I know you say you talk about mental health a lot, and we were talking about, the positivity of overcoming in your newest record from Dance in Hell. How much responsibility do you feel then to bring forth a message to your listeners? Is there a thought in that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've always said that if you were given a platform, use it well. There's not much more to it than that. And both Madeline and I have been through very, very much. Like in my mid 30s, I was diagnosed with pretty severe ADHD. And up until that point, I was undiagnosed, of course. And from that point, so much before my diagnosis made sense, finally. So much made sense. And I'm still unmedicated because I feel I've learned how to manage stuff. And it was really that I needed to reconnect with myself and experience what it is to not mask, not to try to fit in and whatnot, and try to actually put on a filter sometimes,
Right.
And Madeline herself, she was diagnosed with high functioning autism last year. So she's also going through that right now with reconnecting with herself, learning a lot about herself. I learned a lot about her. She learned a lot about me.
Right.
So do we have a responsibility towards our listeners? I say that I feel that those that connect, they do. And we feel a responsibility to our platform we are given.
Okay. How vulnerable do you feel? Sorry, Rena, one more, and I'll let you jump in. How vulnerable do you feel when you're putting that stuff out there? Do you ever say, oh shit, I've put too much of myself in it?
In music?
Yeah, in lyrics and in...
No. Never. I mean, it's our music, our lyrics are never like on the nose. It's not like this specific issue, it's only this and only that. It's very broad, and we want it broad because to us, it can be one thing, but to the other that listens, they need to connect with that and grow from that themselves and really connect in their own way. And that is the magic of making people feel that's special thing. Your favorite movie from the 90s. I mean, it could be about something completely different than what you connect and learn from it.
Right.
So that is real. It's not like on the nose stuff.
Gotcha. Sorry, Rena, go ahead.
Hello out there.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.
No, I think we kind of moved away from the subject, so go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what's next then?
I don't want to bring it back anymore.
Oh, okay. So what's next then for you guys?
The closest we have is we're playing Metal Days, and it's a festival. It's going to be really, really nice. We have oh shit! I got to look at my calendar. Holy, this is. I mean, I got to dust it off because I open my calendar like twice a year.
So how do you keep up with all the stuff?
Madeline. Yeah, we're going over to Metal Days. That's right. Holy shit. August 1st. That's soon. That's really soon. Then we're going to Alcatraz. So August, we have 2 festivals. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Nice. That's a lovely surprise. Which festivals are they?
Metal Days and Alcatraz.
No, just sorry, I missed it. Yeah, have you ever been to either one of those? Is there like a favorite
Never, no.
festival that you want to do each year?
Oh, this is the first time we're going to both.
Right.
Nice.
Do you have any like sort of repetitive events that you keep going to that you look forward to yearly?
No repetitive events. No, I mean, it's always a blast to play at Sweden Rock. We've been there. What is it now? 2 times. Let's say 2 times. It's 2 times. And yeah, last time was it was actually last year, so that was very, very nice. But no, we no yearly thing. No, you don't.
Right.
I don't do that. No.
Sweden Rock's a good hometown crowd though, right?
No, well, Sweden Rock has a lot of international people coming in, like from everywhere. It's crazy. It's a really, really good festival. So if you're ever in Sweden, man, around Sweden Rock time, that's a good festival to go to. Definitely.
Nice. Rena?
I'm kind of out. I wanted to stick to the mental health stuff, but we're so far away from
We
there
can
that
we can revisit.
Still got it.
Yeah, let's revisit.
yeah, I kind of lost my red thread there. It had something to do with the masking, but like yeah, it's a super interesting subject because of like the differences between males and females and how they sort of have to deal with that stuff and how
Right.
long it takes to get a diagnosis, for instance, if you're female. You know
Mhm.
that these like you said that Madeline is high functioning autistic
Mhm.
and that is a hard diagnosis to get and it usually happens late in adulthood. You know
Mhm.
that you have to sort of just live with all that stuff for a long time and feel like there's something wrong with you and that you can't put your finger on what it is. And I bet it's kind of like the same thing with you with the ADHD, which is often labeled and stigmatized as laziness, for instance, and just
Mhm.
being unreliable, and all these like really really negative labels that are like then put on to people because of those things. So whereas you and Madeline, I'm sure, like learned a lot about each other, like you said, with those diagnoses, do you think it's made like your life easier in a sense that people around you can accept you and your modus operandi, better than they probably did before?
Well, there are two criterias that needs to be fulfilled to make it easier for the person with the diagnosis, and that is the acceptance, and it is the oh shit, I forgot the other. No, it's so good. Oh my god, it is acceptance. It is so good. When I think of it, I will say it, but it is two, and I will think of the other later. Acceptance and awareness. No, it's something.
Well, we'll
get
get there. We'll get there.
get
But how much masking do you think you did? Was it like a active thing that you knew that shit, I'm gonna go to this, I don't know, like a band related rehearsals, whatever, that this is happening, and I know I need to come across like I got my shit together. I cannot let them see that my mind is drifting. Is this like a thought process that you had to deal with?
From early childhood, just a thing that kicks in, really, and it's exactly that, to have that mask that you got things together, you got it really sorted out. And when I look at pictures of myself from just a couple of years ago, I see it in my eyes, that false sense of confidence, and you really really see the insecurity. I see it, the insecurity, and it's rough to look at. It really is. It really really is.
Wow.
But
yeah,
is it
it was exactly that, to make it look like everything's fine.
right? Can you find like this empathy in your heart for yourself, your past self, who like had to do that? Because it probably was mandated by circumstances.
Oh yeah, I mean, you feel stupid, you really do, and at the same time, I've been made feel stupid for things I think of, since my brain is wired in a different way due to the neurodivergency, and seeing solutions that those around me wouldn't see. That still works, but unconventional. And you get to hear that you're stupid. You get to hear that you're all up in the clouds and whatnot. You can't do that, can't do this. So, yeah, sure. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today without yesterday. So, I mean, you really need to come to terms with that and accept what has been, because you can always, and that's also an ADHD thing with time blindness. And also, I call it to time travel, because you can actually travel back in your mind to specific moments and just be there, but you can't really do anything about it. But you can learn from it and take that with you to this moment and grow from it.
Yeah. And is it also like something that gives you not just the like skills, but also the opportunity, like you said, that if you have a platform, you have to use it. But like you can now recognize that look in somebody else's eyes, and you can maybe offer some support and insight, maybe even that insight, maybe even that little push, like, that, dude, you're not stupid. you're not these things. Maybe you should just go get tested, do the like routine, and maybe find that. And like, that's super interesting to me that you said that you're not on meds for it, and that you found like a way to deal with it. Do you have any like concrete tips or do's and don'ts that you could maybe share?
Oh, wow. So it's very individual, but there are very big similarities such as the explosive rage, which is connected to an explosive emotional response. And one of the biggest things I've learned is to just, take it easy. Really, really just think about this. The things that you are feeling, those are true. You are feeling what you're feeling, but just hang with it before you give an immediate response. You are quick to words, but just when you are emotional and you can recognize that, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, I can add something to this because if it like I host this other podcast also, which is about mental health, and we had this guest who's this Finnish actor, but he's also a psychotherapist, and he could give this, like, to me, a extremely valuable piece of information about, like, these emotional reactions that you get, and if it's anger, if it's anxiety, if it's any of those things that, like, are basically hormonal. If you get to that level where your brain starts putting out these hormones, then 5 minutes even isn't enough. It takes your body 30 minutes to process that shit out. And like, even if the situation resolves and the like circumstances change, you might still have that feeling, and then you start to get to that loop of, like, why the fuck am I like this? And why can't I just, like, let this go and it's fine? And then you're just, like, adding shame onto those, like, already the feelings that you don't want to have. And you're doubling down on yourself. You're not doing any good with that. And to me, at least, that was, like, a super valuable piece of information that I can just look at my watch and go, like, 30 minutes, this is just what it's going to be. And I shouldn't do anything about it. It is what it is for 30 minutes, and I can cut myself that slack for 30 minutes.
wow.
Right.
But yeah, this is a super interesting topic, and that's why I wanted to, like, dig into it a little bit more, because
It is a super interesting topic. And when you asked me before if I can see it in someone else's eyes and et cetera, I mean, it's I don't really meet a lot of people except when I'm on shows and doing that. But a lot of people reach out because I talk a lot about this on my Twitch streams also. And they also on my Instagram, I post it all the time. And I'm starting up this YouTube because I want to talk about mental health and do's and don'ts, like this and that, stuff like that can help others, because I myself have researched a lot the last couple of years. And they write me and say, thank you very much for talking about this, because I recognize this in my friend, or I recognize this in myself, and they can really connect and they feel comfort. Maybe they don't learn anything, and that's not really the point. What is the major point of it all? The very first step into feeling better about where you are is to know that you're not alone.
right.
And that's a huge one.
It's a huge one. And just knowing that somebody else is having these exact same experiences,
Exactly.
like they are exactly the same, basically, which means I'm not crazy. It's just something that, our brain does. Thank you very much for sharing, Bruce. We are running out of time, right?
No, I was just letting that go. That was great. I'm sorry I cut you off earlier. I got onto
no worries.
topic, but I'm glad you went back to it, because that's important.
There's actual things to say. We don't have to go to how's your tour life, because we can, like,
Right.
So this is
I
our
enjoyed it
platform,
very, very
and
much. So
this is we share the responsibility of sharing in a platform that we have, and also like, just because clearly as a musician, that most of us have depression, that is something that we talk about all the time, but not so much ADHD, not so much, of course, I'm sure you don't want to be speaking on Madeline's behalf about her, like, stuff, but it was lovely to share that piece of information as well. And it's still, like, an important message to put out there, that you can have these personal traits and still do the things that you guys do. For instance, it's not going to stop you. ADHD is not going to stop you. Autism is not going to stop you if you really want to do it. There's ways to work around it, and that's, like, a really important message, if you ask me.
That's great. Thank you for being so open and honest. We really appreciate it.
Sure, man. And all of this, like, you can find all of this empowerment and and connection within the new album, We Shall Remain. I mean, that is what it's all about. It's about community, unity, and empowerment, man.
And I know we got to go, but I don't think you find that many places outside of the metal world, right? The metal world is really specific and really a great big community.
Definitely. With the right band. There are crap.
Right. Absolutely.
Do that too. Yeah. But all in all, we're one big happy, mentally ill
and
family.
Very accepting and very, I mean, at least in my experience, I've seen that, metalheads is a community, but it's also really accepting of
it is very accepting
disabilities, whatever.
Yes, I agree. It is a very embracing community in all.
Sweet. I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Hey, I was happy to be here. Thank you guys very, very much, Bruce and Rena. Been a great time.
Good luck with the summer
Lovely.
festivals, and we'll see you soon.
Thank
Hope
you
you have
very
a
much.
great day.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.